Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, now me and Steve are going to go over our scoring leader predictions for the 21-22 NHL season. Just to keep it easier, we'll go alphabetical order down through the teams, and Steve will give his pick, and then I'll give mine, and we'll talk about them a bit. So if you guys don't mind, I guess we'll get it going. Steve, who do you got for Anaheim?
I have Raquel.
Good pick. Me too. Why do you like him?
I'd like him because I think he's had a few bad years where Anaheim's been a little bit off the grid and stuff. And
yeah,
I think he's got all the talent, and I think he's got good offensive instincts. And, if he played on a different team, he'd get a lot more points. But I think he's going to have a bounce back year and possibly a trade piece for Anaheim as they're looking to get younger. Maybe he brings
I heard trade rumors for him too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so he only had 9 goals, 19 assists for 28 points last year, and I think that's way below what he's capable for. I think I don't know.
50
plus
points.
I think he could get 50 if the team's meshing. I don't think he'll go over 50, but I think he will lead next year. And first line time, so either playing with Zegras or I don't know who's their second liner, Sam Steele. So, and that's not bad too. Comtois led the Anaheim Ducks last year. With I think 40 something points or 38 or something. So he was good last year, but I think Raquel will pass him.
I think so as well.
Who do you got for Arizona?
I chose Clayton Keller.
Hey, same. Okay, we might have the exact same list here.
I don't think so. I think there's a few ones that may fuck's sakes, we might have chose differently, but
we should have
Clayton Keller, man,
first. So if you don't mind, I'll start this one off. I'll just say his points. So last year he scored 35 points. He's obviously got a lot of skill, and he's going to have first line time. Why do you like him?
9th overall pick, man. He's got all the talent in the world again. Very skilled player. He's smaller, but he's quick and he's good at passing the puck. So I think he's gonna have a good year.
You know who he kind of looks like to me? He looks like the left-handed Matt Barzal when he plays hockey.
Yeah.
Just smooth skating, good at passing. Not quite as good at like tough on the puck and stuff like that as Barzal, but it kind of gives me Barzal vibes.
That's cool. I've never really noticed that. I haven't watched much of him, but I know of him, and I've seen him play before, obviously, but I don't know too much.
I mean, you can only watch so much of Arizona games for like, holy fuck,
before you want to,
my life.
Yeah, you can't sit down and watch any more than 4 Arizona games in a calendar year. It's just enough to make somebody go into fucking mental. So don't watch any more than that. I recommend it. Doctors recommend.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend you don't watch 5 Arizona games in a year.
In a calendar year, for your mental health.
Yeah. Who do you like for Boston this year? I
got Brad Marchand. He's
same here.
Scoring leader last year, and he's just an all-around good player. I feel like Pasternak's more of a sniper and a little bit more creative and stylish, but Brad Marchand just goes to the dirty areas. He draws the net, man. Every time he gets over the blue line, he's holding the puck like this, and he's going to the goalie. So
for sure. Yeah, so he had 69 points last year in 46 games. He plays on a line with Pastrnak and Bergeron. They're the best line in hockey right now, for my money. Maybe Colorado's got a better line, but they're sick. And I think he'll have close to 100 points this year. I think he gets in the 90s this year.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean, that's only, if he stays healthy, that's only 8 points over point per game. I think it's doable for Brad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who do you like for Buffalo? Not that there's too much to like there, but
I don't like fucking thing in Buffalo. No. But I think this is where we might differ. I chose Casey Middlestack.
I chose Casey Middlestack.
Okay.
Oh my God, we're gonna have the exact same list. Who did you think I had? Dylan Cousins or Jeff Skinner?
I felt like you had Jeff Skinner.
I feel like we're kind of sleeping on Olofsson too. Victor Olofsson.
Yeah, he was. I think he was second in points last year, but I don't know.
Was first. He led the league. Jesus Christ!
Led the league.
He led Buffalo last year in points. I think he had like 30 something, 35 or so. Yeah. Casey Middlestack got 22 points last year. He's bound to break out. Insane skill, and definitely going to be a first in line center first or second line center.
If there's any year for him to show that he still has that talent when they drafted him, it's this year because there's so much room in that lineup to achieve, more ice time, more goals, more assists, more points, everything. So if there's ever a year for him to step up, it's this year. So I think he's going to do it.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Calgary, who's your guy?
Johnny Gaudreau.
Johnny Gaudreau here too, man.
All right.
We're gonna have the same list. That's what, 5
I know. I think we're gonna have a few but we'll keep going.
Yeah, I think I chose some, I don't know, questionable ones down the line. Anyway, why do you like Gaudreau?
I like Gaudreau because he's more of a skill player and it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a great all-around player. I think he has a lot of flaws offensively.
I do too, yeah.
And I think he's not very hard on the puck, but when he has the puck in a good area, he can usually do some stuff with it that most players can't. So he just gets points consistently, and I'm actually kind of surprised he's still in Calgary to a certain extent. I feel like he's going to make his way out of there one day, but he's still a really good player, and he's going to get a lot of points.
Yeah, for sure. So he scored 49 points last year. He gets a lot of PP time and plays with good players like Elias Lindholm and Sean Monahan and Dylan Dubé sometimes on the power play. He's got 6 skills, quick, and he's got a nice shot. So it'd be a safe pick to say he's your scoring leader out of Calgary. What about Carolina? I feel like we might differ here.
Sebastian Aho,
me too.
Yeah.
Why is he your guy?
Because he's the best player on the team.
I was gonna go with Svechnikov.
Yeah, I was thinking
will
about
lead
it too.
the league, I think, in Michigan goals.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think he's a lock for Michigan goals. He was second on my list, but I went with Aho because I think he's a more complete player.
Yeah,
and I think he's just a better overall player, honestly. So
yeah, I think Svechnikov got more of a scoring touch and flashy, but I think Aho just knows how to get points and drive offense.
Yeah.
Yep. So he had 57 points last year, which is a point per game. He's gonna really break out this season, I think, and he's definitely a top center in the league for me. Look at the cat.
Yeah, she wants to get some fucking screen time here. She's been in the background, I mean, for too long. She's running around with all the hockey tank scripts and the lighting. I mean, she's the whole.
You should just get
she's a director.
Her own computer, and we'll set up a Zoom up there for her.
Yeah, I should.
Right on the screen. If you don't mind, I'll take this one because since we're speaking of cats, I think Alex DeBrincat will lead Chicago in scoring next year.
And that's where we differ, my friend, because I have good old Patty Kane.
Yeah, I was going to say Kane, but hear me out now. DeBrincat got 56 points last year, which is point per game. Kane, I think, got 66, I believe.
He did, yeah.
I mean, he's going to play with Kane, and I don't know. He's a great talent. He's got an unreal shot. He's definitely going to get the most goals on Chicago, I think. Kane might take over an assist now because he's a assist machine. But I think DeBrincat's going to be very close to Kane this year, especially where Kane's starting to slow down now, I think. He's still a great player, but I don't know. He's starting to slow down, and Alex seems like he's coming into his own. So why is it Kane for you?
Because I think he's the best offensively. I think when it comes down to it, the most offensive talent on the group from the group is him, and he draws the offense as a winger. That's not hard. That's not easy to do.
Not very many wingers can do that.
So he drives the offense from the team, and that's why I chose him. But I think ultimately, I think he's a person who makes the players better around him. I think he's a centerpiece, and I feel like if there was another guy there, a lot of the players around him wouldn't score as much. So that's why I know he's getting older, but I don't know. I got a kind of a little bit of a soft spot for him. He's been in the league a long time. Really good player. So
you know what? Yeah, I wish I could change my answer now because just hearing that, he does really make the players around him a lot better because a lot of his wingers in the last 4 years have been nobodies, and they've gone on not nobodies now because they're playing in the NHL, but not superstars, and they're scoring a lot of points because of Kane. So you're right. Who do you got for Colorado?
Nathan MacKinnon.
I have Nathan MacKinnon as well.
Pretty easy choice here. probably the second best player in the league for my money.
Yeah.
Powerhouse. Stride is unbelievable. Skates unbelievably in general, and powerful shot. He can shoot. He can score from the blue line. He can score from in front of the net. Pretty much anywhere. He can do pretty much anything. So he's
no sugar
really
in the locker room though.
No, man. No. Don't
No
even
sweets.
fucking show up. Nothing, man. This guy's tough. But I watched the interview.
I heard if you come in and you were just after eating a Pop-Tart or something, you got a bit of icing on your lips, he'll smack the shit out of you. He'll beat the wheels off you for having a bit of icing on your lips, man. That's what I heard.
I heard that Zadorov kind of exaggerated that a bit, and he was talking about it.
No, I heard Zadorov take that back. And I think we were listening to it on Chicklets when he was on, because he was talking about it, and he was like, the boys asked McKinnon, like, did you get mad at that? And he was like, I was pissed off for a couple of days, but then I just took it with a bit of laugh, and then he come out and said that. So
yeah,
McKinnon, the second best player in the game for my money too. 65 points last year, so 10 points over point per game. So who's to say he won't do it again? I think he scores over 100 this year.
Yeah, me too.
Who's your guy in Columbus?
I chose Jack Roslovic.
Oh shit! I like that. I chose Patrik Laine.
Yeah,
Roslovic is an underrated, sneaky player, though. I can't believe he went in that trade with Laine. Hey, we got two people from Winnipeg. It's pretty cool.
I think Roslovic was the best player to come out of that trade.
Oh yes, boy.
I think he's got a lot of offensive talent, and I think he was very underappreciated in Winnipeg, and I think he breaks out this year and does it for a full season. Last year he had points where he was producing well and other points where he wasn't as well, but I think he's going to find consistency this year and generate offense at a high rate and lead the Columbus Blue Jackets in scoring.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I chose Patrik Laine just because I think he's got to bounce back, especially where Torts isn't there anymore. No one to bench him from playing Fortnite.
That's true. Yeah.
So I actually, honestly, I kind of hate Patrik Laine right now because he just embarrassed my Detroit Red Wings.
Oh man, Sutter! He made Sutter look like a baby.
He made cider look like an apple cider.
Yeah.
I was pissed off to see that, but I love Patrik Laine. I think he goes back to his old ways now that he's going to have a new coach. He got 24 points last season. He's, for my money, the best player on that team, except for maybe Werenski. I put Werenski over him. I don't know. Loads of skill. One of the best shots in the game. So I think that's a pretty safe pick for scoring leaders, but I like your Roslovic pick too. Who's the scoring leader in Dallas for you? I think we're going to differ on this one as well.
Those Rope Hintz.
Holy shit, man. Me too.
He's got insane. A lot of offensive talent.
Does, yeah. He slipped in one of my fantasy teams, and I got him in like one of the last rounds, and I was hyped.
Yeah, he's one of those players that nobody really talks about as being a big offensive threat, but he's actually he could score 30 goals a year and put up 40 assists. I mean, he could get 70 points. He's a really good player. And nobody talks about him, and it's unfortunate, but I think this year he's going to put up a good season, and people are going to start talking about him a lot more. And I think he probably makes All-Star game in Dallas.
He might, yeah. And you think about point per game players. Who do you think of? You think of Connor McDavid, Brad Marchand, Kane, McKinnon. You don't think of Rupe Hintz. In 41 games, he scored 43 points last year for 2 goals above point per game. So, I mean, if he does that. If he does that again, I mean, he's looking at 85 points. So to say he gets 70 points is completely on par, I think, for what he can do over, 82 games. He had
consistency is what he needs.
Exactly. He missed some time with injuries, and I think that's a big part of what was the downfall of Dallas, because they didn't have Seguin or Hintz last year for a lot of the season. So, but this year I think he shares time on the first line with Seguin. If Seguin's not doing well or producing, Seguin's kind of a streaky player to me. I think he spends time on the first line and puts a lot of pucks in the back of the net.
Yeah, I agree.
Detroit, kind of not very an offensively producing team, but who do you think is going to lead the way?
I think their captain, Dylan Larkin's probably going to lead the way.
That's a safe pick. I chose Robbie Fabry here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I want to hear why you think Larkin, just because I love people hyping Larkin up.
I think he's the most complete player on the team, and a team where he's not really competing at all for any positions on the ice. He just goes out, and all he has to do is play consistently, and I think it's going to be easy for him to get upwards of. I think he can get 60 points.
I think he can get 62.
So I think
that's a good number for him. Honestly,
I think he's a 60-point scorer, and I think he probably gets around 62, 63 points this year, and proves why they chose him as captain.
Yep, and that's not a bad number either for a struggling Detroit team. So
no,
I'd be very happy with that. I chose Robbie Fabry just because Dylan Larkin was injured last year, and I think it's still kind of holding him back. So I think Larkin will miss some time, but Robbie Fabry also missed some time, and he only got 18 points last year. But he's got plenty of skill, and I think Jakub Vrana's out for 4 months. Tyler Bertuzzi can't travel to Canada. So, Robbie Fabry is going to get so much time on that first line. I think he's going to put in a nice few points this year, and I think he's actually going to really break out because he looks great in every season, but he always just misses time with injury. So if he can stay healthy this year, I think this is his year.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I think he's only going to get 45, 50 points on a bad Detroit team. But I think that'll still be enough to lead the way. Do I even have to ask who your player is in Edmonton?
No, I think we could skip Edmonton. We won't, but I think we
can't do that.
Too.
All right, let's hear
it. Brenda Perlini.
Yep.
Obviously, I was going to go with the joke.
Absolutely, 100%. Probably 100 points this year.
Yeah.
No.
Obviously, I'm going to go with that joke, but it's obviously Connor McDavid.
Yeah, Connor McJesus for me too.
Yeah.
Do we even have to say anything else? Like in my notes here, I have 105 points last year in 56 games, and then but right beside I have he's Connor McDavid. Period. Like that's all you got to say.
Connor McDavid. He's Connor McDavid. I think we can move on. 150 points.
150 points. I'd say he's going to get 125.
I think he's 150. Easy.
He got 105 and 51, so he's going to have 30 extra games. So you're right. I don't think he's going to score as wildly as he did in the Canadian division. But still, he's not in the best division right now. He's in the Pacific with all those bad California teams.
Literally the worst division in the league.
Exactly. So he might just have a fucking, year for himself now. I'd like to, imagine if he scores 150. I'd get goosebumps just thinking about it right now.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. Florida Panthers. Who's your scoring leader here?
Alexander Barkov.
This is where we differ again. I had Jonathan Huberdeau.
I think Barkov's complete player. He has all the tools, and he just signed his big ticket there, kicking in next year for $80 million. Yep. So probably 90-something points. I think he can achieve that, and I think it's just going to be an easy, smooth year for Florida. They got a lot of depth. I think they're going to take a run at the cup. So I see him leading the way.
Yeah, I think so too. So I chose Huberdeau because he was their scoring leader last year with 61 points, which is, 4 over point per game, or 5 over point per game. Sorry. He's sick and plays with Barkov. Barkov's just going to be dishing him the puck. He's just going to be burying biscuits. He's going to get 90 points easily. Yeah, that's a pretty stacked team over in Florida, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did take a little stab at the cup there.
I think it's possible.
For sure. Who's your guy in LA?
I got the captain, Kopitar.
Yeah, Captain Kopitar for me too, man. Why do you like him?
Because he's a veteran, and he's proved how good he is, and I don't really know how many more players LA has that can say that you could really say and be confident that they're going to get over 50 points a year. I think Kopitar is due for 60 to 70. I don't think he gets 90 points like he used to. No. I think he sits around 60 or 70 points and has a good year and leads the way in LA.
Oh, nice little rhyme there at the end. Yeah, I chose Kopitar too. He had 50 points last year in 56 games, so it's easy to think that he can get 70 and 82 if he stays healthy. He's a sick player. He doesn't really have anyone else to play with. Maybe Arvidsson this year.
That's true, man. I forgot he was there. That's a little bit of a sneaky player.
Yeah, it is for sure. I loved him in Nashville, but anyway, fuck you, Arvidsson. We're talking about Kopitar. Get out of the way. He's got no one to play with except for that, really. But I think that might be enough. He's going to get 60 to 70, like you said. Even though he's slowing down, he's still the best player on that team, and the captain for a reason. I think this is another team that we don't even really have to discuss much about. Minnesota. Who are you picking?
I'm not even going to make a joke. It's fucking Kirill. It's a thrill, man.
Yep, it's Kid.
The most exciting player to watch in the league. I said it. I'll say it again.
In my notes right here, I have 51 points last year. Most exciting player to watch. I said great skater and a nasty shot.
He's just exciting, man. He makes the game fun. I've never had so much fun watching hockey games when he's on the ice. And it's not saying he's the best player in the world, because he's not the best player in the world. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, that's Brenda Perlini.
Yeah, let's not fuck around here. Brenda Fellaini is a GOAT. Best player to ever play in preseason, Brenda Perlini.
Yes, sir.
So, no, man, there's something about him, man. Just the way he carries himself and he skates. And I don't know, it's just fun to watch. And I find myself always paying a little bit more extra attention when I know he's on the ice rather than any other line in Minnesota. So, an easy pick. I got him pinned for honor points this year, man. Shit on me if you want. He signed his big ticket, man. He's that good of a fucking player. I've watched all his games except 5 or 6 last year. So I'm telling you, man, this dude has it all. There's a reason they signed him for that big deal. So
I don't think he scores 100 points until Marco Rossi is in the league. I think Marco Rossi will elevate him over 100 points.
Yeah.
I don't know who the center is.
They're playing with Eriksson right now. The preseason has been.
Eriksson is a better defensive player than an offensively driving player. So I think in 2 years, when Rossi comes into his own and takes on that first line role, I think he gets over 100 then. But for right now, I think he's 85, 90 points for me. But still the scoring leader of the Wild, no doubt. What about Montreal?
Nick Suzuki. I think this is the year he really. What did you choose?
You already said it for me, man. Nick Suzuki.
All right, I didn't. Sorry to go ahead there.
Hey, man, no worries.
I think it's the year he finally takes over the team, and it's kind of his group. As I feel like he's a future captain, and he hasn't led Montreal in scoring yet. So I think this is when he finally achieves that. I don't see Montreal as a team that's got a lot of high point scorers. I see him as a team that plays well, but it's not like they got a superstar to score a lot of points. So I can see him around 50 to 60 points, honestly. If he scored 61 points in 82 games, I think he'd lead Montreal.
Yeah. I was hard-pressed not to pick Caulfield or Toffoli, but I think Toffoli is kind of a player. He's pretty much the player version of the Philadelphia Flyers, just shit when you're good the next, shit when you're good the next. So I think he has a down year, and I think Nick Suzuki has an up year. I think him and Caulfield are going to provide a lot of offense for Montreal, and I think he'll lead it. So Suzuki had 41 points last year, and he's the only person on this team I can see with a consistent role on the first line, because who the fuck else are they going to play up there? Yeah, so he's always going to be getting the top minutes. So he's going to have the most chances on ice to score.
It's not bad for me to say like he's gonna, because Montreal's not a team that scores a lot of goals like that. So I mean, if I think Montreal's a good all-around team, so I think it's reasonable for him to get anywhere from 61 points to 69 points. I think he's gonna fit in there somewhere.
Very specific. I like it. Who do you like from Nashville?
Roman Josi, because I don't really know if the forwards know how to play hockey in Nashville. I think they go to Nashville. They sign for a fuck ton of money, absolute fuck ton of money, and they just forget how to play the game altogether. So Roman Yoshi's kind of in there scratching his balls and shaking his head like, what am I doing, man? What, like, do I have to score? I mean, I got to defend. You know, I got to play 22 minutes. I got to wear the C.
Play goalie.
I got to block shots, man. I got to score. He probably leads his team in scoring, blocks, hits, shots.
And kills, I'd say, too. Does he have a wife?
Fellow. I don't know.
He must take down some broads on Broadway, man.
Yeah, he's a good-looking fellow, that's for sure.
Yeah,
he leads them in everything.
He led the league. Jesus, why do I keep saying that, man? He led the team in scoring last year, so he could do it again. I picked Philip Forsberg. I think he's the best forward on that team. He got 32 points last year. I think he gets first line. I mean, Duchesne and Johansson are kind of like, they could go either way, so I don't see them both. I don't know. Those are the second best forwards on that team, but even then, they've been pretty shaky the last couple of years. So I think he gets first line and a lot of time on the PP.
Definitely.
Yep, and the rest of the team are just poo-poo.
I don't know if it's a compliment to be called the best forward in Nashville because it's not really saying much.
Second best forward behind Roman Josi.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know me and you like a certain player on this team. So who's your guy in New Jersey?
Hischier. Nico Hischier.
Really? I picked Jack Hughes.
Yeah, I like Jack Hughes, but I think Hischier's the captain. I think he gets more ice time. If he can stay healthy, because he's had some troubles with health the last few years. If he stays healthy, I think he is, again, much like a Suzuki, a 60, 70-point guy in a full 82-game season.
Yeah.
So, and he plays well in all zones. And he's really like, I don't think people talk enough about it. He's kind of sneaky, like Datsuk sneaky with the puck. He's not comparing him on that same level, but he's got that same kind of swagger, just he'll lift your stick, take the puck, or do a quick little toe drag and you don't expect it. So I like that part of his game too.
Yeah, for sure. I wish we could have watched more of him in the preseason. I think he's maybe only played a couple of games, if any, because I think he's been coming back from an injury. But oh fuck me, I was talking about my player then. No, he sure is. He sure is a lot like that too, man. For some reason, I thought you were talking about Jack Hughes, and I was getting a big head then. No,
he sure, man.
Yeah, no, he sure is a great player though. I was talking about Jack Hughes come back from injury. I'm an idiot.
It's all right, man. Keep going.
I have my mind on Jack Hughes. God damn it. Hughes has got 31 points. I think he last season, breakout season incoming. I think he might split the first line with Hischier, depending on the wingers. If the first line wingers play better with Jack Hughes, I think he might get time up there. In all of his interviews, he's just been talking about how hard he's working and how much he wants this out of this season to be the best season of his career. So I think Hughes has a huge year.
I think so too.
Yeah, it could go either way. I think those two guys are pinned, Hischier and Hughes. I think are both pinned at 60 to 70 point range.
Yeah, if you follow Hockey Tank on Instagram, which you probably don't, but if you do, you'll see that we shared a post on our story the other day, and it was projecting Jack Hughes' point totals for this season. I put it up, and I projected 55 points. I think that's where he sits this year. He's close to his breakout. I think he needs a little bit more experience, another full year in the league, and maybe next year he'll get the 70 plus points that he's capable of.
Yeah, for sure. At some point in his career, he's going to be a consistent point per game, I think.
I think so too.
As New Jersey grows, you can't expect a player to go to New Jersey and be point per game. So all in good time.
That's not believable. So.
What about over in the island, New York Islanders?
I'm sure we picked the same guy here.
Barzal. Does it? Yeah. Barzal. I mean, who else is it going to be? What other forwards on that team are capable of doing?
He's just so dynamic. So
yeah, he is.
He's on another level than the rest of that team offensively. Yeah. And I think if he played on any other team in the league, literally any other team in the league, he'd be over a point per game.
Man, you're taking words right out of my mouth. You're taking words right out of my mouth today, man. I had the exact same thing wrote down. I had 45 points last year. He's a star in the league, and he'd be 1 point per game in any other system but Trotz. He was playing for any other head coach that said, even if a coach just said, "Buzz, I don't give a fuck what you do. Go out there and play pond hockey for all I care." It's like he put up more than what he does in Trotz's defensive system.
Yeah. So easy pick.
I think that's a pretty safe pick for Islanders scoring leader. Yeah. What about the New York Rangers? They expected to have a really good year this year.
Gerard Gallant behind the bench.
Yeah.
I got like Patrick Kane, not many wingers drive offensive forces for teams, usually the center. Panarin drives offense for this team. When he was missing last year, they went on a really bad losing streak. He was injured for a little while, or I don't know if it was injury or he had that political situation in Russia. I'm not sure what it was, but he was gone for a little while.
Both. I think it was I think he got injured a bit in the Tom Wilson mix-up. He was out for a couple games, and then he come back, and then he went away for the political shit.
So they were a lot better when he was in the lineup, and he drives this team's offense. Zibanejad's good. Strome is good. All the young guys are good, but without Panarin, this New York Rangers team drops significantly.
Yep, absolutely. I had the exact same thing. Artemi Panarin, Breadman. He missed, I think, 3 weeks of last season between injury and gone back or trying to get his family out of Russia. I don't know if that was the situation. That's what I'm calling it, though.
Like the mafia.
Yeah, man. I think the mafia were legit, like, stop bad mouthing our president or we'll kill your family. And then he was like, fuck, now I got to get my family out of Russia.
Yeah. Tough situation.
Imagine if everybody in the United States that shit on Trump, their families got whacked, man. There'd be nobody fucking left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Artemi Panarin missed 3 weeks last season, still put up 58 points. Fucking beauty. He's a superstar. He missed a lot of time last year, but this year he's going to be at least a 90-point guy.
At least.
I think he's probably the second best winger in the NHL, right behind Kucherov.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely there.
Yeah. What about Ottawa? I know it's pretty tough to pick a great forward right now in Ottawa, but if you had to pick, who's their scoring leader?
I got Josh Norris as their scoring leader. He had a great rookie season last year.
He did, yeah. So I had Jimmy Stützle.
Yeah.
And that's just because I'm a huge Stützle fan. I think I'm a bit biased.
What do you like? You got a Sutter, so you like the Germans.
Yeah, loves Germans, but
good thing we're not in 1940s.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be so biased back then. I don't think many of them were playing hockey at this point.
Anyways, enough political talk. These last few minutes have been very
yes. Holy fuck, man!
We should start a political podcast next.
Jeez.
Yeah. I got Josh Norris because he's a solid centerman. He's probably going to be their first line center. He was a first line center last year, actually, for the most part. Because they don't have much center depth, as we all know. Colin White's gone too, so he doesn't have to compete with him. I don't even know who their centermen are off the top of my head. Chris Tierney, maybe. So, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
If you can't get past Chris Tierney, just hang him up. So, I think Josh Norris is going to have a good look this year, and I think he's probably more like a Detroit point leaders total, 50 points. Maybe he gets 50 points, 48, 50, 52, something like that.
Yeah.
And what do you think about Stützle? Or Stützle? I don't know how to fucking say that name.
Me neither, man. I go back and forth so much between Stützle and Stützle. It's unreal. But
so what do
I'm
you
going
think?
Stützle. I think you pronounce the L at the end instead of the American L. I don't know. Anyway, enough of this fucking language history friggin'
political
here. He had 29 points last year in his rookie season, so I mean, not bad for first year getting used to the American ice or the North American ice. I think he's the best active player on the Sens. I think when Brady comes back, he might be challenged a bit for that number one or the number one in Ottawa spot, but for right now, I think he's the best active. I think he puts up a bare minimum next year of 50 points. And I mean, that's only 20 more points than last year, and last year was shortened, right? So I think he's chalked in for the second line left wing spot, but as long as Brady stays out, I think he'll be in the top line there.
Yeah.
So I think 2 good picks. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of those picks because who knows out of Ottawa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Philadelphia?
In Philly, I chose Sean Couturier.
Nice pick, yeah.
I think he's the most complete player in the organization now, and I think he's going to overtake Giroux as a captain eventually if he ever decides to fuck off or not, because I feel like Giroux's been there since the Big Bang and everything. I mean, this dude.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Philadelphia, I think of Giroux, man, because he's been there forever. So I think Couturier is getting to a point in his career where he's in his prime now. He's been a while since he's been drafted. He's just a really complete player, and he finds a way to put up points and plays well defensively. I think this is a year where he gets 70, 80 points. I mean, he was over a point per game last year.
I think he was points leader last year, yeah.
So who did you go with?
I went with Travis Konechny.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pick too, man. He's sneaky good.
For sure, yeah. I love this kid, man. So he had 34 points last year, but he's going to be getting first-line time with Giroux and Couturier this year. I think this is his team in 5 years. I mean, Couturier is going to be the captain if Giroux fucks off, but I think Konechny is going to be the big points producer here in the next 5 years, and I can see it getting started with next year. I think he goes just under point per game next year, and gets a scoring title for Philadelphia.
Yeah, see it.
What about Pittsburgh?
I chose Jake Guentzel.
Nice.
Pittsburgh.
I was either between Brian Rust, because I love Brian Rust, or Sidney Crosby, but I had to go with Crosby.
Yeah, I went with Guentzel because I think there's a lot of underlying. I think there's a lot of underlying things going on in Pittsburgh. There's so many players in and out of the lineup, and I think Jake Guentzel's more. He's not as injury prone. He seems like he's in the lineup more, and I feel like he's proven himself in the last little while that he doesn't. For a lot of his first few years in the league, it was more of a narrative that Sidney Crosby was really the reason he was so successful. But with the Crosby and Malkin being in and out of the lineup so much lately, it's really put a spotlight on him, and he can show that he's he can be a really successful NHL player without those guys. So he's done it, man, because there were so many injuries. Played well with Crosby out of the lineup, with Malkin out, and I think he's a really good player, and he's going to get probably 70 points, 60. He's in that 60-point range again, I think. 70 points, even more. I think he could get more.
I think he's going to miss a week or two because I think he's out with COVID right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he comes back, he's going to be a force this year, especially where they're just going to be leaning on him a lot more for offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to choose Sidney Crosby here because your points projection for Guentzel was around 60 points. Well, Crosby got that last year in 56 games. He had 62 points last year. I think he goes points per game again. I think he's not even a question the best player on this team. I don't think anybody will argue me there. And I think he drags Pittsburgh into the playoffs once again. That's how good I think this guy still is.
Yeah,
I think Crosby's going to miss 2 weeks with recovering from his surgery. I think he comes back and just goes off again this year because he loves it when the pressure is on him.
And maybe I didn't say enough points for Guentzel, but I just think he's just that type of player who's going to eventually lead the team in points, no matter what the point totals are.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you. It's way too early in the season to know for sure. And if Guentzel plays with Crosby, I mean, Crosby might just, play a more defensive role and really just give it up to Jake. So yeah, no, it's I'll be interested to see what happens there. What about in San Jose? Who's your guy here?
Tomas Hertl.
Nice.
If he doesn't get traded.
Yeah. Did you see the anniversary of his 4-point game in his 19-year-old season?
That was, I remember seeing that.
I remember seeing that the next day on Sports Center. I was like,
same.
This kid fucking did that. And I'm pretty sure right after he did that, EA was like, fuck, we got to jack this guy's overall. And I'm pretty sure
86,
they made him
medium elite, 86 medium elite.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but he's a really good player. I think he's probably the best offensive player in that team.
Yeah. Do you think he gets the nod on first line over Couture?
I don't think so, but I don't think it'll matter because I think it's one of those situations where the top six is rolling in and out anyways.
Yeah, true.
So, I don't know. I think he's just more offensively gifted than Logan Couture.
I think so too. Well, look, Couture had it, but Jesus, Couture had it back in the day, but I think it's really starting to shift over to Hertl too now. But surprisingly enough, I didn't pick Hurdle. I picked Timo Meyer just because.
Oh yeah, he's a good goal scorer.
He is, yeah, and I think he's going to get a lot of points this year just because he's going to be consistently on the first line and get a lot of time on a PP. Last year he put up 31 points in a short season on a bad San Jose team. He's a first line star winger. He's got a great shot and a lot of hockey sense. So
yeah,
I think he plays a lot with Hurdle and Couture. And
I think that's a good pick.
That's a great season for him. I can't give you a point projection. I would think just under point per game, or maybe even like closer to 60, 70 points. But nonetheless, I think he's going to have a better year than he did last year.
Yeah.
Who is your guy in St. Louis?
Did you skip Seattle?
I sure did, man. Who's your guy in Seattle? Fuck Seattle. Seattle hater number one right here. Public enemy number one.
You got a jersey on the way.
Yeah. Until that jersey comes here, I got to see how good the jersey looks in person. And then I'll decide if I like Seattle or not.
Yeah, right.
It's my job right now to not have Seattle in another video or another podcast.
All right. Well, you're failing.
Who's your scoring leader?
I think it's the same as you.
I think mine's different than yours.
Who's yours?
David Schwartz.
David Schwartz.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is David Schwartz?
Jaden Schwartz. I was looking at it. I was looking at the next name on my list.
Oh, you told me who is in St. Louis. You gave it away.
Anyway, so Schwartz is my guy.
Jeez, I thought for sure you would have put Eberle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big Eberle guy.
And wholesome. I am a huge Eberle guy.
Yeah, call you the big red Eberle or whatever the fuck his name is.
Call you the big red dog.
Yeah. He's been in the league for so long, and he's been consistently good for so long that I think he's probably just going to have 50 to 60 points. Again, like I said, I don't think Seattle's a big offensive threat. I think they're more of a threat in their two-way style of play. So I don't know if they're going to score a lot of goals, but I don't think they're also going to get scored on a lot. So
yeah, true.
I think he's going to find his way to get 50, probably 60, 65 points. And lead the team is my guess, but let's hear why you think Schwartz.
Yeah, so Schwartz last year I think he was out for a bit. I think he played only like 45 to 50 games, scored 21 points, which isn't great. But he's going to have less competition, I think, now in Seattle. I think he's the guy in Seattle now. He's got a great shot. We'll get every chance in Seattle this year. But yeah, now that I think about it, Eberle probably is the safer pick, just because he was so offensively good for the Islanders, even in that defensive system they have there, where friggin' St. Louis was more just run and gun. So, yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Schwartz or Eberle, I think.
We got to wait and see. That's fun. That's fun.
Who gets a point per game.
Yeah. The best third line center in the league.
Yeah.
Best third line first line center. Yeah. It's going to be cool to look back at this, though. I mean, maybe we'll look back end of the season.
Projections.
Yeah. So, I mean, when the season's over and we know the playoff order, we'll have a hockey tank episode. Oh, shit. What just happened to my computer? We'll have a hockey tank episode. And we'll talk about, our projections and see who was right, who was wrong. And, we'll have a little bit of a laugh about that.
Yeah, for sure. Who do you like in St. Louis this year?
Ryan O'Reilly for me. And you have
nice.
David Perron.
I got David Perron, yeah, and I can't wait to talk about him. But first, I want to hear about why you think a Selke winner can overpass David Perron in points.
I think probably anybody could overpass David Perron in points. I'm joking.
That's my heart right now, man.
He's a good player, man. He's a really good player. He has, I was looking up, doing a bit of research for my little list here, and I looked up St. Louis point totals, and it kind of caught me off fucking guard. I seen David Perron had like 60 points last year, 60 something points.
Yeah, I'll talk about it, buddy. I
was like, holy fuck, man! I thought
David Perron is my Cam Talbot right now. I think.
Yeah, that's a fair pick.
Yeah. But why Rhino?
I don't know, man. He's captain and he gets the ice time. he led him to a cup, man. He knows how to play the game the right way, and he plays hard. That's basically my only reasoning for choosing him there.
Yeah, and Ryan O'Reilly loves just dishing the puck. He's not a huge goal scorer. He gets a lot more assists than he does. So if Vladimir Tarasenko stays, and imagine Ryan O'Reilly just feeding Tarasenko in like Kucherov's little spot there on the hash marks, and Vlad is just ripping one-timers.
Yeah, I think Tarasenko's going to change that dynamic there too, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think that could hurt my guy, David Perron. So last year, Tarasenko was out most, if not all of the year, right? So, but David Perron scored 58 points, and I wish I could go back, and that's in 56 games. I wish I could go back to our underrated players video, and I wish I could say this guy because I never knew how good he was. David Perron, like who the fuck talks about David Perron in the league?
Nobody.
I've never heard anybody last year say, "Shit, man, you know what? That David Perron kid, he's doing decent there out there in St. Louis." Nobody talks about David Perron, man.
No,
he's
man.
So underrated, man. He's 2 points over point per game. And without Schwartz, he's definitely going to get a bit more time. It's probably going to be Perron and Tarasenko on that first line, even though they're both right wingers, I think. Or no, he's a left winger. He's
I'm
a
not sure. I just know he's a winger.
Because Schwartz is a right winger, isn't he?
I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a winger, so he probably play on the first line. If not, then he'll definitely be on the PP because the kid fucking got 58 points last year, man. He's a beauty. Fucking love this guy.
I definitely forgot how good of a hockey player he was. So it's cool to see him on the list.
Wasn't he drafted by St. Louis, traded to Edmonton, then traded back to St. Louis or something like that?
He was in Vegas.
David Perron.
He was in an expansion draft, man. He went in the expansion draft.
No, he wasn't. Vegas. Are you serious?
Then he re-signed back in St. Louis. Yeah, I'm serious.
I never knew that.
He played that first year in Vegas.
Huh. Jeez, maybe if he lit it up, he'd still be there. Nah, I'd say he wanted to go back to St. Louis. Look what he did in St. Louis, 58 points. Imagine. What about Tampa Bay? I feel like we differ here because I feel like you got a bit of a bias on one of these players.
Kucherov.
Hey, same. I thought you were going to say Braden Point.
Yeah, I do have a bias on Braden Point. I think he's one of the best players in the league. And
no, I do too. He's definitely. I will see this year. I was about to call him a top 10 center, but needs.
I think he's a top 10 center. Any guy who leads a team.
There's a lot of great centers right now in the game.
Any guy who leads a team to 2 cups is a top 10 center, in my opinion.
That's true. But yeah, you can't go wrong saying Nikita Kucherov is going to be that scoring leader there.
I think Point is unbelievable, but I think when it all comes down, when all the cards are on the table, Kucherov's better offensively.
Yeah, so do I. And I mean, if Kucherov wasn't in the league, I'd say Marin was the top center in the league, but I mean the top winger in the league. But Kucherov is just amazing. I don't know. He's the best.
Number one bullshit.
Who's the goalie for Vegas? They talk about the number one bullshit, Vasilevsky.
Yeah. He doesn't know. I bet you this guy Kucherov doesn't know a fucking clue about NHL history, NHL players. Like he just goes and lights it up and gets his paycheck and goes home.
Yeah, I bet he's just dusting people out there and they're like, "Whoa, you just got around like the best player in the NHL." You go, who fucked that?
Number one bullshit player.
Fuck. Yeah, I was listening to a Steven Stamkos interview and he says, dude, he's not like that, but he just got fired up and got onto beers. And man, he says he's not like that in public, but he says he's so funny in the locker room, always getting on with shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's hilarious. And yeah.
I like to have a couple of beers with him.
Oh man, imagine the time you'd have. He's definitely Chief Schneep, though. I'd say he gets right on the angel dust.
Oh.
I'd say all the Russians do, man. Friggin'.
Yeah, they're
all the Russians in the league, man. They can't do PEDs anymore, so they go right to the Cokie.
Oh. I believe it.
Sorry to friggin' run over the Russian team. Man, dude, that Russia's Olympics team is just going to be fucking out of their mind. They're all going to be just ripped on coke, running over everybody in that tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, they're going to injure everybody in the league.
Yeah, sorry to expose all the Russians. But yeah, Nikita Kucherov, greatest winger in the league. He scored 0 points last year, but he had 0 games played. So I guess he was point per game. Honestly.
But he also led the playoffs in scoring.
True, yeah. And he could have won the Conn Smythe if Vasilevsky wasn't
easily
the best goalie in the world by head and shoulders. So Yeah, best shot on the team, gets plenty of power play points, and is great 5-on-5 too. Leads the league in Kucherov goals this year too. I'm calling it now.
Leads the league in Kucherov goals.
Yeah, the no move. Like
yeah. Oh, geez, you got me all fucked up then. Yeah, I think you're right.
Leads the league in points scored by Nikita Kucherov.
yeah.
Oh man. Here's your guy in Toronto.
Matthews.
I said Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. What's your Matthews argument?
Matthews is by far the best player in the Leafs. That's my argument.
You know what? My counter argument to that was Mitch Marner's the best Leaf on the team. That's legit what I got wrote down right beside his name. So I think our argument's kind of
yeah. Well, I mean, everybody has their own opinion.
I heard a rumor that Austin Matthews got charged trying to deliver coke over the border. You hear that?
Really? I don't know if
I've man. Ever... You know who made the citizen's arrest?
Who?
Cole Caulfield.
I'm
joking. That's all bullshit. No, that's just
yeah. I was gonna say, I figured Toronto media would have a field day with a story like that.
Oh man, imagine. Yeah, he gets like fucking shit on all summer for us, like harassing a security guard. Man, imagine he was delivering coke over the border. He was delivering to the Russia team. He was delivering it to Tampa Bay because they won the playoffs.
Yeah, him and Kuznetsov.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Matthews is probably going to win the Rocket Richard this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if he led in points, because even if he gets 50 goals, I mean, that's only halfway to 100 right there.
Yeah, I think he's capable of getting 60 goals 1 year.
We'll see. I think the last person to do that was Stamkos, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, Stamkos was really good early in his career.
I got Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner led the Leafs in scoring last year with 67 points. He's the best Leaf on the team for my money, and will definitely score over 100 this year. He's just a regular season beast. I mean, people shit on him for what he can do in the playoffs, but if you're just looking at regular season, there's no one better on that team.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, it could go either way.
To a certain extent, but yeah, it's just either way. I mean, if they are there, I mean, they're only a few points apart anyways.
Yeah.
So.
And man, who knows? Mitch Marner could be doing an insurance commercial and break his fucking neck. So
yeah, intact insurance, man. Jesus Christ.
His mom's gonna be making him cereal, and his mom's gonna make him pancakes, and he's gonna break his back like Dustin, like friggin' who was that guy, Dustin Penner? Or no?
I don't remember.
Oh man, so he said in the newspaper, like, he hurt his back and wasn't at practice, in the LA media. What was his name? David Penner, Dustin Penner, something Penner.
Penner, yeah. Is it Dustin? I'm not sure.
I think I just got that in your name. I know it's not Dustin. I'm thinking about Dustin Brown.
Yeah.
It's something.
I've heard of Penner before, man.
Yeah, me too, man. But anyway, yeah, he didn't show up to practice one day. So the LA media was like, "What happened, man?" He was like, "Oh, I sat down to eat pancakes that my wife made me, and I fucking hurt my back."
Must have been a good feed, man.
Oh, what a feed you'd have to break your back.
Yeah, jeez, man. I'm surprised my back's still alive here, man. All the turkey I ate.
Turkey. Yeah, I mean, if the turkeys were shaped like little UFOs, man, you'd probably have a broken back right now too.
Yeah, man.
I'll send you that article, man. Because, oh man, when I read that, I died laughing at it.
All right.
Vancouver. Who's your scoring leader?
The newly signed Elias Peterson.
Nice.
I think he's gonna have another comeback year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's. I think he's the best player on the team.
I do too.
To cut you off.
Yeah, head and shoulders, man. It's not even close.
Yeah. So much talent.
He scored 21 points last year in an injury-riddled season. He's just got a new contract inked, and I think he'll perform great this year. Like, I don't know. He's the best player on that team for sure, though.
I think he's 70-point guy, man. Every year.
I think he's point per game this year. I mean,
70 or 80, yeah.
I think he's coming off a obviously bad season where he wasn't playing as much as he'd like to, but I mean, he was still on the ice practicing and working out, so I don't know. He just needs to get in the game mode. I think he's going to have a bad October and maybe start of November, but after that, I think he gets on his horse and he just absolutely runs over this league. I think he's point per game this year.
Yeah, he's definitely got all the talent for it. He's Vancouver's #1 weapon. So
oh yeah,
he's going to be getting the ice time.
What about Vegas Golden Knights?
I chose Mark Stone.
Ooh, I chose Max Pacioretty.
Oh yeah, Max Pacioretty is still sneaky good in this league.
He is, yeah, but Stone did lead the team in points last year.
Yeah.
Stone was unreal last year. I remember my buddy drafted him in fantasy, and I was like, "You fucking loser! You just drafted a two-way defensive forward. Like, what are you doing?" And then
he was over point per game, I think.
Yeah, he was because Pacioretty was 51, and I know Mark Stone was like, I think Mark Stone might have got 61. Yeah, but Mark Stone spanked my fantasy team every week last year when I was playing Buddy. So kind of
he's a really good player, man. He's just one of the best players in the league, and defensively, like you said, and offensively, he has it all. And he was a later draft pick by Ottawa, so that's a really good pick.
I can't believe I didn't know who this guy was when he was coming up through Ottawa. Like I didn't really know who he was until he broke out that year in Ottawa.
I seen him a nice bit because it was always when his rookie season stuff. It was Toronto versus Ottawa, stuff like that. He had a really good rookie season too.
So, yeah, I don't disbelieve it. Yeah. I chose Max Pacioretty just because he got 51 points last year. He takes a shit ton of shots. Like he probably takes like 3 or 4 shots, or even more a game. Like he's always just ripping shots. So
yeah,
I think he had some bad bounces last year. Not everything was going his way. But I think he drives the offense on that line of Stone. And who's your top line center? It's not
it was Chandler Stevenson.
Yeah, I don't know who it is now, but
I don't know. They don't really have a top line center.
No, I don't think so. I think is Chandler Stevens still there?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think he is on the top line. So he's definitely not driving offense on that line. So I think it's Pacioretty. But he plays with Stone anyway, and Stone racks up the assists.
Yeah.
Like Stone will probably have like, I don't know,
a fuck ton of assists.
A shit ton of assists. I think he could probably go point per game just for assists if he had a really good year.
Yeah, he's not much of a shooter.
No, that's Patch's job. So I think Patch throws up like 35 to 40 goals this year and probably mixes in a good like 50 assists.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, what about the Washington Capitals? Who's your scoring leader here?
I chose Ovi.
Nice pick.
I think he's the best player in the team. I think he's wants to get 50. I hope he gets 50. I think he's going to be in the 40 to 50 range. And, Ovi always puts up 30-something assists for, something like that. So,
yeah.
He's going to be in the goal column a lot, and I think he's going to get his fair share of assists. So, if he leads his team with 89 points or something like that, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, true. I chose the other Ruski. I chose Kuznetsov. He's just going to be feeding Ovi all season long. Plus, he has 6 hands, great shot, and he's always on the power play. Just you got like Backstrom down in the corner, Kuznetsov in the slot, and Ovi in his pocket there on the left. And I mean that's your first line power play right there. And then John Carlson and I don't know, some other bum. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say another bum, but Oshie's no bum either. So yeah, I mean he's gonna get so many power play points this year, I think, just on a line with Ovi.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. I think John Carlson actually steals a lot of power play points, though, because it usually goes Carlson to Ovi and then back to the net. So
yeah, he gets a lot of points on that power play. Washington's had a good power play for a long time.
Yeah, they have. Unreal. I forgot to mention too, Kuznetsov scored 29 points last year. So I think Ovi did lead the team last year. I think Ovi got.
I think it was Backstrom actually.
I think Backstrom only. I was gonna say only. I think Backstrom got like 49 to 55 points or something last year.
Oh yeah, I thought I've seen it.
Who knows? Yeah, I'll check after this game. Finally, Winnipeg Jets. Who do you think's gonna lead the team?
I got somebody. I don't know if you got this one. I got Kyle Connor.
That's my guy. That's my fucking guy. Yes, man. I love Connor.
He's I think he's gonna break out as the best offensive player in Winnipeg. I think he's that good. He's only young too. I mean, he's younger than Scheifele and Wheeler, and he's gonna play top line with those guys. I think that's one of the better lines in hockey too when they're all together. I think it's up there with Boston and Colorado. I mean, Wheeler, Scheifele, and Connor is not a fucking line to joke around with.
No, sure.
So they're getting a lot of points, and I think he's a really good sniper, man. He can get 40 goals.
I think he's going to be in the Rocket talk this year.
Yeah, definitely. Good chance for that to be.
Yeah.
So he's your pick too?
He's my pick too, man. He had 50 points last year, right on the button. He's sick at hockey, first line, awesome shot. Like I said, they're going to be in the Rocket Richard trophy talk for sure.
Definitely.
I think he's going to put up 35 to 40 goals this year and probably tack on another 40 assists.
Yeah, probably 80, 90 point range.
Yeah, probably right up there with Scheifele. It was between him and Scheifele for me.
Yeah, me too. But Blake Wheeler, I mean, he could have been easily been in there too. I mean, he gets a lot of points as well. Nobody really talks about that, man. Wheeler gets his points every year. So
yeah, Nikolai Ehlers too is a really good coming up player.
Yeah, he's like starting to make some really good progression.
Yeah, for sure. So I think after Wheeler starts to decline, he'll take his spot on the first line. And I mean, if you got Ehlers, Connor, and Scheifele on that first line, that is so dangerous. But yeah,
very dangerous. Yeah, Winnipeg got some good offensive pieces there.
So. Yeah, they got a great thing going, and their goalie, I'd say, I for my money, Hellebuck's probably the second best goalie in the league.
So, yeah, he's up. He's definitely top 5.
Yeah, he's unreal, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch him play for the Ice Caps?
No, I never.
I think he was. I think Hellebuck was in St. John's for a little bit while the Ice Caps were here. I never got to see him play. The closest I got was I've seen Eric Comrie play here. And who was that Montreal Canadiens goalie that I thought was going to be sick? Zach Kucali. I seen him play here. And my eyes were locked on him. I was drilling, man. I was like, dude, Zach Kucali, he's going to get his reps. He's going to get his reps. But I don't even know where the hell the guy is now. Is he in Vegas? I feel like
I don't know, man.
For some
he
reason.
Was hyped up. He was supposed to be the
next Carey Price.
Carey Price, yeah, but never really worked out. I remember he turned out really good in an old NHL games. But
big time. Yeah. When was he drafted? Like 2013 or something?
Yeah, he's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Thanks for sticking with us, folks. I hope you enjoyed our scoring leader predictions. I had a lot of fun doing that, and it's
gonna be fun to look back on.
Oh, 100%. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that me and Steve do have a YouTube account, the Hockey Tank Podcast, as well as an Instagram account. Just Hockey Tank
Podcast. Oh, is it Hockey Tank?
I think it's just
there's no
Tank
podcast.
Yeah. This was our pre-podcast, and we just used to do hockey content, or Steve used to do hockey content on it. But I weaseled my way in here, and somehow we got a podcast now. Thank you guys for sticking with us. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
Yeah.
I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and happy holidays if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Happy
thank you.
Life.
Happy life.
Thanksgiving.
I want to send a special thank you to our buddy in Virginia. Thanks for listening again. You at least listened to the first 10 minutes. And our friend in Germany.
Every week.
I hope you're not Jason Morgan and not too mad at us. But guy in Germany, you also rock. So
let's go. Well, I hope you guys tune in this episode and keep tuning in. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah. So throw us a follow on the Instagram, and you'll
subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. All right. See you, Steve. Have a good week, and we'll reconvene next Sunday.
All right, man.
All right. See you later.